recruitment is a service. Now, sadly, we live in a time that recruitment is almost like this bounty hunter style job that people have, where they sell people and make quite a lot of profit. And in reality, people aren't for sale. And it is, because we always talk about how to kind of advertise and market recruitment, because it's not as sexy as a lovely product that you can show, or you can do like before and afters, and it's naturally quite hard to sell in that respect. But it is a service, and that's why it feels like that, because you can't see a service happening in the same way that you can with a product. However, the recruitment industry is built on selling people as their product. And I think this is why then clients and business owners, hiring managers, feel so irritated when it goes wrong, because there's costs associated with recruiting a person into your business are quite insane. And a little example is, one of our clients came back to us. They were looking for a marketing director. Are you licking the couch, or you poor? It's very hot today. They were looking for a marketing director, and if they went with an agency, and I think the agency was on maybe 18%, something like that, and it would have been about £22,000. Now, when I think of that number, £22,000 for a person in your business who may or may not work out, I think is absolutely bizarre. Like, it just baffles me. And I would get it at that point, that if it didn't work out and you were out of the rebate and you didn't get anything after it, why you would be quite upset and quite frustrated because of how much money you've paid, and I totally get that. And whereas with us, and I almost felt cheap when I quoted on this, because the price difference was so different. And ours was £6,500, but that's because it's our day rate multiplied by the amount of days it would take us to successfully find this person and fill this role. So the client's really, really happy, and that is quite a high value ticket for us because that would be quite a number of days, whereas I guess our sort of average deal is around £4,000. But when you get into your more senior hires, where you're talking people on 70 grand, 100 grand, or even over, you see a massive difference in cost comparisons to working with a company like us, who partner with you, who get to know you, who try and understand, educate, coach, consult, all the rest of it to get you to where you need to be, rather than an external organisation who would send CVs to you, but they might send them somewhere else. You massively see the difference in terms of cost. And I think for us, it's how we kind of picture it is, because we've come from an internal background. So me and Laura headed up an internal recruitment function for an ERP consultancy before we settled fresh 9 years ago. Can you believe it? And we kind of saw it from the inside out about the impact of looking at employer branding, looking at how we qualify CVs, looking at how we interview and who we're using to interview, and how we offer, how we onboard, how we do all that kind of stuff had a massive impact on the bottom line of getting candidates into the situations that you need them to be. And I guess so for us, when we talk about recruitment, we see it as projects. We don't see it as we find someone, we send them to loads of people and we see which one sticks and hopefully they're on the best percentages. For me, that's not recruitment done well. Recruitment is done well when you start and complete a project, when you've got a team who are in your corner, who've got your back, and they genuinely want the right thing for you, which is finding that person. That person is going to stay with you for the long haul. And I guess where that moves into it kind of being project-based as well is that whatever we do within that project is kind of yours to keep, if that makes sense. And what that means is, so if we send you 5 CVs and you like every single one, you can hire all those 5 people. Obviously, they might not all accept. Sorry, Bob. But, a couple might. But also, if you're like, oh, the idea of hiring 5 people right now, even though I'd love to, scares the crap out of me, then there's nothing to stop you keeping that information, because that's already been sent. We would get the consent from the candidate. So you could actually hire someone at a later date as well. And so for us, it's kind of moving away from it just being about that concentrated sending a CV, getting a bum on a seat, and looking at it more that recruitment is a much more broader thing than we currently view it. And I think when you start looking at it like that, you will understand and value the need to find a recruitment partner that has got your best interests at heart, rather than just ringing up a load of different recruiters and kind of seeing who you can kind of, I guess, get the best deal out of, where you're trying to drum them down to like 10% or something like that. Because when you do that, when you try your hardest to negotiate hard on the numbers, and you'll be like, oh, well, I've got my recruiter down to 10%, they will just not prioritise you. Because why would they send you really, really good CVs when you're only going to pay 10% of someone's salary, whereas they can send them to John at Barclays and get 25%? I mean, I know what I would do because I'm not stupid. So I think when you start thinking about stuff like this, you will see the need for a recruitment partner. And when you invest time into doing that, you might then think, do you know what, we're at a stage in our business now where we can actually create an internal team, and that's a super exciting place to be, because you might still need to use external recruitment partners, but it means that you understand the need to actually bring this in-house and develop that part of your business, because it will absolutely benefit your business as it grows.